still remember that morning as clearly as if it were yesterday. The air was calm, the sunlight warm on the curtains of my small living room. I had just finished my cup of tea when my husband, Richard, looked up from his newspaper and said, "Rose, we really need to hire someone to help around the house. Mother keeps complaining that you can't manage everything." I didn't argue. I was tired of the endless work, tired of my mother-in-law's constant taunts. So I agreed. That afternoon, I hired a young man named Aaron. He was polite, quiet, and hardworking. He had kind eyes, the kind that looked honest. But little did I know that one decision would almost destroy my life. The first few days went smoothly. Aaron would sweep the floor, water the plants, and help with groceries. My mother-in-law, Mrs. Henry, however, didn't like him from the very first glance. "Why did you bring a stranger into my house?" she snapped. "Mother, he's here to help. You said yourself I can't do everything alone." She looked at me sharply. "You'll regret this, Rose. Mark my words." Her voice echoed in my mind long after she left the room. A week later, chaos erupted. It was a Sunday morning. Everyone was home. I was in the kitchen preparing breakfast when I heard a scream. A sharp, furious scream from my mother-in-law's bedroom. I ran upstairs, my heart pounding. There she stood, clutching her jewelry box, her face pale and trembling. "My diamond necklace. It's gone," she shouted. "What? Are you sure? Don't you dare act innocent, Rose," she hissed. "You brought that man into this house. You two must have planned this." I was stunned. "What are you saying? I would never." Before I could finish, she threw the empty box onto the floor. "Don't lie. You've always been jealous of my things. Admit it." Her voice was so loud that Richard came running. "What's happening?" he demanded. His mother turned to him dramatically. "Your wife and that servant stole my necklace." Richard looked at me. I saw doubt flicker in his eyes. That one look broke me inside. Aaron was called into the room. He looked terrified. "Madam, I swear I didn't take anything." But my mother-in-law's eyes gleamed with victory. "Search his room," she ordered. Richard nodded reluctantly. I stood frozen, watching as they turned his small room upside down. And then, Mrs. Henry gasped, pretending to be shocked. There it is." She held up the missing diamond necklace from under Aaron's pillow. Everyone stared. My knees went weak. I knew what this meant. She had planted it there. But who would believe me? Richard looked furious. "Aaron, how could you do this?" Aaron shook his head helplessly. "Sir, I don't know how it got there. I swear I didn't touch it." "Enough," Richard said coldly. "Pack your things and leave before I call the police." Tears streamed down my face as Aaron left. And then my mother-in-law turned to me with a cruel smile. "See what happens when you bring outsiders here? You embarrass this family." That night I sat on my bed in silence, staring at the darkness. But something inside me whispered, this is not over. The next morning, when everyone left for the market, I quietly entered my mother-in-law's room. I began to search. I didn't know what I was looking for, but something told me she was hiding a secret. And then I saw it, behind her mirror, the edge of a black velvet pouch peeking out. My heart raced. I pulled it out, and inside it was another diamond necklace, identical to the one she had found in Aaron's room. My hands trembled. 2 necklaces. One was real, the other fake. I suddenly understood. She had switched the necklaces before accusing Aaron. I quickly took a photo of both necklaces with my phone and hid the pouch back. That night, when Richard returned, I calmly said, "I have something to show you." I showed him the photo and explained everything. How his mother had framed Aaron just to humiliate me. First, he didn't believe it. But then he called the jeweler who had made the original piece. The man confirmed. Only one real necklace existed. The other was an imitation made recently. Richard's face turned pale. "Mother," he whispered. When he confronted her, she tried to deny it. But the jeweler's records, the imitation receipt, and my photos proved everything. Her expression changed from rage to fear. "You don't understand, Richard," she muttered. "I just wanted her gone. She's ruining this house." Richard's voice thundered. "No, Mother. You've been ruining this house with your lies." That night, the truth came out like fire burning through the dark. Aaron was called back, his name cleared. He fell to his knees crying in relief. But my mother-in-law's eyes still held something dangerous, a hatred that would never fade. Even now, when the house is quiet, sometimes I feel her gaze from the dark corner of the hall, watching, planning. Because some people, no matter how exposed they are, never stop plotting. And that, my dear listeners, was the night I learned, the most dangerous enemies are not strangers, but the ones who live right under your roof.